Here.
Kennedy.
Here.
Natari.
Here.
Robel.
Here.
Rulover. Present. Mayor Kimball.
I'm present. Motion to go to private to discuss litigation and contract, which will be released at a later date.
Thank you.
Councilmember Cosarelli?
Yes.
Kennedy?
Yes.
Natari?
Yes.
Robel?
Yes.
Rulover? Yes. Mayor Kimball.
Resulted in some flooding and 2 trees coming down, one on Dorothea Terrace and one on Maple Avenue. And as a result of an accident, we had 3 street signs and poles that were damaged on Graylock Parkway, and all 3 have been replaced. Our current road program, which consists of the following streets. We have Quinton Street and Beach Street being funded by Community Development Block Grant, and Quinton Street in its entirety, Beach Street from Little to Graylock. Funded by the DOT, we have Clinton Street, the entire length, and Tapan Avenue by the DOT from Washington to Union. With township funds, we have Columbus Avenue, the entire length, Brighton Avenue from Harrison to Sanford, Mertz Avenue, the entire length, and Walnut Street, the entire length. I've also been notified that on May 23rd, which obviously is today, the contractor started concrete work on Quinton Street and tree removal taking place on Beach Street. We also had received bids for the Silver Lake Firehouse. For the interior, our estimate was about $350,000. The bids came in at $480,000. I'll be meeting with the architect, the town engineer, and representatives from the fire department to take a look at that, and we will probably have to rebid that. The next item I have, our police department was awarded a New Jersey Attorney General's 2017 Community Policing Award, which is a very prestigious award. We're only one of 30 departments statewide, so congratulations to our police department. I'm sure everyone knows this, but it's worth repeating again. The Belleville Police Department also arrested Jermaine Ramirez of Newark for the burglary and theft that occurred on May 19th on Eugene Place. And we'd also like to once again thank the community for all their help and assistance. We also have, just as a notification, by way of information, at our next meeting on the 13th, we will be introducing the 2017 budget. The increase will be less than $50. Right now it's projected at about $48 for the entire year, which is 77% less than the increase was in 2016, and 64% less than it was in 2015. And the reason for the $48 increase are obviously increases in pension, in Passaic Valley, in health costs, and also going back last year, we had to clear up some over expenditures and pay some raises that were due. And the last item I have this evening is that we also received a $2,000 grant from Sustainable New Jersey that Bill Gilbert went down and picked up for us last Friday. Councilman Cosarelli, would you like to add anything to that? Are you involved?
Yeah, I think it's a sustainability grant. It's going to help advertise for some green stuff that we're doing around town. So this is just the first phase of it to get the word out about our Green Initiative program. So thank you, Billy, for going and picking that up. And we'll be working on anything I think to give you sustainability.
That's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you. Yeah, I just got one thing more. I just talked to you before about the towing.
Yes.
So look into that and see, you know, if, I mean, we paid to take one truck to Patterson, that cost $830, and then we had to tow a car back to the yard for $175. So I don't know if they call both tow companies to see if they got a better price, but like I discussed with you, we shouldn't be paying to have our vehicles towed. If they don't want to tow them anywhere for free, then they could go find towing somewhere else.
Couldn't agree with you more, Councilman.
All right, thank you.
Yes, Franklin Avenue, again, it's pitch dark from Claremont Hospital to Mill Street. I guess there was that big accident and they did something with the lights, and This can't go on. It's very, very dangerous at night. I spoke with Tom Herritz, and Tom Herritz said he's been sending letters, but nothing is happening with public service. We need to do something immediately.
Yesterday, I had a visit from Everton Scott, who used to be our
He
representative,
was wonderful.
and he's back with us. So
Oh,
I will
thank
call
God.
him first thing tomorrow
Thank
morning
God.
and see if we can get
He
some
was
help.
the best. All right, thank you, Mark.
You're welcome.
So then, Mara, the street project that you just spoke about, that has started then?
Yes,
Right, and that'll go right through the summer into, I guess, the early fall, everything will be done
yes,
one after another.
yes, sir.
Also, we have dates for the town-wide garage sale, which will be Saturday, September 30th, and Sunday, October 1st, and we're not going to conflict this year with Nutley. Nutley will be the weekend before, so we did check that out. So, thank you.
Yeah, just through the manager, I want to thank the police chief, Mark Mankini, for doing a great job catching that burglar so quickly. Very good, thank you.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome, ma'am.
Communications.
A request received from St. Anthony's Church for permission to conduct their annual florist and minor procession on Sunday, May 28th.
Make a motion to approve it?
Second?
Councilmember Cosarelli?
Yes.
Kennedy?
Yes.
Nattari?
Yes.
Robel?
Yes.
Strumelberg?
Yes.
Mayor Kimball?
Yes. Ordinance for introduction.
Ordinance number 1 for introduction. Bond ordinance amending the title in section 2 of bond ordinance number 3415, finally adopted June 29, 2015, of the Township of Belleville, the County of Essex, New Jersey, in order to approve the acquisition of street sweepers.
Move the ordinance for introduction?
Second?
Clerk will roll.
Councilmember Cosarelli?
Yes.
Kennedy?
Yes.
Nattari?
Yes.
Robel?
Yes.
Strumelberg?
Yes.
Mayor Kimball?
Yes.
Ordinance number 2 for introduction. Ordinance reappropriating $385,152.58, proceeds of obligations not needed for their original purposes, in order to provide for the acquisition of street sweepers for the Department of Public Works, aided by the Township of Belleville and the County of Essex, New Jersey.
Move the ordinance for introduction?
Second?
Clerk will roll.
Councilmember Cosarelli?
Yes.
Kennedy?
Yes.
Nattari?
Yes.
Robel?
Yes.
Strumelberg?
Yes.
Mayor Kimball?
Yes.
Ordinance number 3 for introduction. An ordinance to amend the revised general ordinances of the Township of Belleville, Chapter 8-8, designated loading zone.
Move the ordinance for introduction?
Second?
Clerk will roll.
Councilmember Cosarelli?
Yes.
Kennedy?
Yes.
Nattari?
Yes.
Robel?
Yes.
Strumelberg?
Yes.
Mayor Kimball?
Yes.
Ordinance number 4 for introduction. Ordinance to amend the revised general ordinances of the Township of Belleville, Chapter 8-16, handicap parking spaces.
Move the ordinance for introduction?
Second?
Clerk will roll.
Councilmember Cosarelli?
Yes.
Kennedy?
Yes.
Nattari?
Yes.
Robel?
Yes.
Strumelberg?
Yes.
Mayor Kimball?
Yes. Ordinance is public hearing and second and final reading.
Ordinance number 1 for public hearing, and ordinance to amend ordinance number 3443, creating personnel positions and adopting classification and compensation
Make a
plans.
motion to open it for public hearing?
Second?
Clerk will roll.
Councilmember Cosarelli?
Yes.
Kennedy?
Yes.
Nattari?
Yes.
Robel?
Yes.
Strumelberg?
Yes.
Mayor Kimball?
Yes. Mr. Franklin.
Could we just have an explanation what it is?
Yeah, well, you want to explain?
Yes, I can. Yes, we have a part-time CFO that we hired going back a couple of months, and the previous CFO was being paid $1,500 a month, and this gentleman needed $2,000 a month, so we're amending the ordinance just to accommodate that additional $500 until such time as we get a permanent CFO.
It is part-time.
Yes, it is part-time.
Make a motion to close the public hearing and move it for final adoption?
Second?
Clerk will roll.
Councilmember Cosarelli?
Yes.
Kennedy?
Yes.
Nattari?
Yes.
Robel?
Yes.
Strumelberg?
Yes.
Mayor Kimball?
Yes.
Ordinance is adopted. Ordinance number 2 for public hearing. An ordinance extending the and amending chapter 12, sections 12-12.3, 12-12.5, 12.12-12, and 12-12.32, Rentland Board of the Revised Ordinances of the Township of Belleville, being the Building and Housing Establishment Code Ordinance of said township.
Make a motion to open this for public hearing.
Second.
Clerk will roll.
Councilmember Cosarelli?
Yes.
Kennedy?
Yes.
Nattari?
Yes.
Robel?
Yes.
Strumelberg?
Yes.
Mayor Kimball?
Yes. Mr. Franklin?
Same question I'd like to make sure.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
I'd like to know what you're doing with this ordinance.
Tom, this is your ordinance.
I'm sorry?
This is your ordinance. I don't know.
Yeah, yes, it is, and what it does, Mr. Frantantoni, was based on suggestions that were made by the Rent Leveling Board to kind of update some things that they had found during their various hearings, and I put them into a new ordinance amending the rent leveling. I think the most significant part is making January 1st, 2010 the base rent date. Earlier, before there are, and we also put in there substantially rehabilitated dwelling units will be exempt for 12 months, where the landlord puts money in to the unit to make it nicer.
Didn't we have vacancy control, deed control?
I'm sorry.
Years ago, we initially, wasn't there included vacancy deed control?
That whatever is not in here remains in the other ordinance.
But then you're saying our new apartments are going to be under rent control?
Oh, yeah, they will be.
Well, we have vacancy deed control. I have a customer, has an 8-unit apartment. As each one became vacant, she got them taken off the rolls. So they're not vacant.
Well, there's other rules pertaining to vacancy decontrol. But if there are new apartments that are being built, they're going to be subject to this and the prior ordinance.
I thought we were supposed to end rent control. True vacancy deed control over the years.
What the rent control board wanted me to include in the ordinance is exactly what I did. If there's a problem with it, this can be amended too. But this is exactly what they wanted.
Right, so we're not ending rent control.
We're not giving up rent control in the township.
Well, then how come these apartments can file, when they get a vacant apartment, to get off it?
That's up to the board. That's up to the board. It's not up to the governing body.
Make a motion to close public hearing, move for final adoption.
Second.
Clerk will roll.
Councilmember Cosarelli?
Yes.
Kennedy?
Yes.
Nattari?
Yes.
Robel?
Yes.
Strumelberg?
Yes.
Mayor Kimball?
Yes.
Ordinance approved.
Make a motion to open public participation.
Second.
Clerk will roll.
Councilmember Cosarelli?
Yes.
Kennedy?
Yes.
Nattari?
Yes.
Robel?
Yes.
Strumelberg?
Yes.
Mayor Kimball?
Yes. Mrs. Franklin?
Phyllis Frantantoni, since you're going to introduce the budget next meeting, resolution number 13, wouldn't that be null and void and then preparing for estimated taxes? To be nailed out? Why not?
No, because it's only introduction, we have to go to a second reading, we have to have a public hearing on the budget, it has to go down to the state, and it needs to be approved and then sent back to us.
And it will be done by August?
It might be, maybe not.
And I
Last time
wanted,
it came back, it didn't get approved, I believe, until September.
I wanted to ask, when you mail out anything from the town, I see there's a stamp on it, regular stamp. Don't you do bulk mailing? I know I worked for a company, and anytime we had a bulk mailing to mail out, we got bulk mailing rates. How come the town doesn't do that?
I'm not sure, but I assume that we get a reduced rate on our mail.
Yeah, I believe we do. What
Aren't they-
did you get with the stamp on it, Mrs. Franklin?
Are the stamps, what are our stamps, 44 cents? Something like
I
that?
don't know, what did you receive with the stamp on it? Because we have meters that we,
Was it the tax, wasn't the water bill with a stamp on it?
I don't know.
It was a meter one, all right, my mistake, sorry.
Sir?
Good evening, my name is George Stafford. I live in Morton, New Jersey, but I'm here representing the New Jersey Highlands Coalition and a group of environmentalists, an environmental group called Keep It Green that we're working with. And I have a resolution that I would like you to consider and perhaps act on a later date, obviously. an old town councilman in the borough of Worth, so I know that these things don't happen overnight. And I would never ask you to do it in one shot. And basically, the resolution asks that the state come up with a fund of money for open space. We used to have the bond issues, and the voters in the state never turned them down. We spent as much as $200 million a year on open space, and we feel that open space is vital. I'll get into that in a second. We had a compromise a couple of years ago, but we're at the point where the annual amount of money put towards open space is going to be about $40 million. We all are familiar in local government with real estate prices. I was a tax commissioner in Morris County for a number of years. And $40 million doesn't go a long way. Open space is a lot more than, pretty scenes off the highway and parks and things like that. And what's critical, and you receive water from State Valley, is a groundwater recharge. And forested areas are very important for groundwater recharge in the state of New Jersey. We've lost almost 250,000 acres in open space in the last 20 years. We also picked up 1 million more residents in the last 20 years since 1996. We get a lot of rain in New Jersey. We get 50 inches of rain a year on average. We didn't get it last year, maybe we'll pick up the difference this year. Seattle gets 37 inches of rain a year. We're literally drinking the water that falls out of the sky. And to recharge our groundwater, which is our fallback position, which when just before you, the water we're using just before you tell everybody they can't water their lawn, that's groundwater. So we would ask you to consider this resolution. It's a brief one. I wrote it myself. The original one, my tree hugger friends, it was like 5,000 words. I got it down to 1 page. And you guys get a lot to read, so I hope you'll consider this. It also includes reestablishment of payment in lieu of taxes for open space, which helps you transition. Presently, if somebody decides to preserve something and you get open space, it's off your tax rolls, and you may have a problem with your tax rate. So that's included in here. I have my contact information here. I have copies. I sent a copy to the clerk. And if you have any questions or you want me to come back, I'll be happy to do that.
Now, we'll put it on for the next meeting.
Okay, well, that's great for me. I'll leave this with the clerk if I may.
Yeah.
She gave us copies as
We have
well.
copies.
She gave us
Oh,
copies.
okay. I see a number of Irish or possibly Irish names up there, and I should point out that it is an English name, but I'm with the Wexford Staffords, not with the Staffordshire Staffords. So, I appreciate your time. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
Good afternoon, good evening, Mr. Mayor, Honorable Congressman. My name is Manuel Martinez, and I represent the residents of the dead-end street on Belmore Street, off of Railroad Parkway. It's 12 homeowners in that vicinity. And on May 1st and on May 2nd, we wrote a letter to Mr. Mayor and to Councilman Belleville regarding the fact that that street has never been paved. It's been there for over 30 years, never been paved.
No, it's the end.
So we requested is if we can look at, just to look at repaving that entire block, it's a disaster, it really is. Now, we thank you very much, we had done some patchwork on it, we sort of, done some blacktop, we need a complete blacktop on that.
He sent the engineer Tom out there, we should send him out.
Okay.
We'll work on it.
Pictures.
We have, sorry, I was the first one that originally came
Yeah, I remember.
and brought the pictures and the letter to you. Once again, here they are, all the pictures, all the letters, and I have given it to Ms. Kelly.
Well, if it's not a emergency, maybe we could
Add it on.
add it on.
Add it on.
Add it on.
I'll speak to Tom first and foremost.
Yep. Thank you.
Before I die, I would like to thank you very much.
No problem.
Stick around a while, sir.
Yeah,
Thank you very much.
don't go soon.
Carol Bagnell, Fairway Avenue. I have a question. Whose responsibility is to mow the lawns of the houses that are vacant?
On where?
Moment on Fairway.
What road?
The home is vacant.
Like
Some real
foreclosure?
estate company
We
owns
can
it.
do clean and lean on it.
Yes.
And put it out,
Just give us the address.
Okay.
and then we'll put it,
283 Fairway.
33.
Yeah, 283 Fairway. The grass is about thigh high at this point.
Okay. What we'll do is we'll have the town mow and then we'll put a lien on the property.
That would be great. Thank you so much.
Mr. Frantantoni?
Yes, in regards to Resolution 13, with the mailings out, through the chair, Mr. Tucci, we're getting these, with the postage meter stand, 46 cents. Now, I brought this up in the past. I have property in Dover Township. I get a packet of mail with the bills and all that, and they have bulk mail that costs 30, I think, .2 cents. When Mr. Canning was the town manager, I went to the North Post Office, I got all the applications for the town to fill out to get a bulk rate. And now it's 5, 6 years later, we're still paying the full rate to mail out. Now, I don't know what we have now, if I recollect, I think the tax bills, where we have about 8,000, 9,000 to send out. I mean, so, this is quite a few $1,000s.
Yes, right.
So we're sending out the tax bills, and if we could save this 12, 13, 14 cents, it's a lot of money. So, I gave it to a former town manager. It's just a matter of filling out the application. I went to the annex, and they said, go downtown in Newark, and I got all the applications. So I'm sure you can get it, and we can save a lot of money on that.
I think it's a good idea.
Now, the firehouse, there's a little building there. What are we doing? Trying to compete with the Saudi Arabia palaces?
We went out on bids, Mr. Frantantoni, they come back, we got 2 bids, we're gonna reject both of them.
Even the original estimate, $350,000. Well, that, you already did the outside. And I think that was $80,000 or $90,000. And the doors were fixed.
Doors are
I saw them do the outside of the doors. What are we doing?
Mr. Frantantoni, it's a complete gut job. It's everything. It's
Yeah, but
plumbing, it's
How many
electrical,
square feet is
it's
it?
everything. I don't have that information.
What's your bid on it?
I can get you all that information.
It's a very small building. And then the road list you brought out wasn't fantastic. Is Walnut Street on that?
Yes, it was at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Smith Street?
Is Clinton on that? Clinton?
Is Smith on it?
No.
Brighton Avenue on it?
Yes. Yes.
It was Quinton Street, Beach Street, Clinton Street, Tapan Avenue, Columbus Avenue, Brighton Avenue, Mertz Avenue, and Walnut Street.
Right, well, Smith Street and several others are the streets where just about a week or 10 days before the election, these mysterious signs went up saying that the streets and sidewalks and curbs are all going to be done. And it took a little while to get some Oprah requests back, but we got the Oprah request from Printing Techniques in Nutley that the 24 signs was $1,560.
Right.
We claimed they were political at the time because they were not the proper size. Now, if you're going to have, if these bids go out, we're going to see the real signs that are required to go up. But that invoice from Printing Techniques was dated May 5th of 2016. Now, in order to order something, the town has to put out a requisition for something. After many months of Oprahs, we got a requisition for the 24 signs for $1,560. But the invoice was dated May 5th, 2016, and the requisition, which would be before the invoice, is dated November 29th, 2016.
I don't know that what the dates are. I'd be happy to look at that.
Well, I have-
But the signs that you alleged at the time were political in nature, were not political then, are not political now, and they will be going back up. All right, the only reason that there was a delay in the entire road program was because the governor sequestered some of that money and held things up. And then eventually he released the money.
Well, Mr.
So
Tucci,
I'll be happy to look at that, but I can tell you that there was nothing political about those signs. It was just
You've been a
merely
long-
to notice people
you've been
of
a
what was
long
going
time
on.
official of Nutley.
Yes, I
I'm
have.
sure you've done a lot of roadworks, and also, as a result of a nationwide search, you're the greatest town manager
Yes,
in the
they
country.
did. They found me after searching the nation. You're right.
So, I mean, you have got to know that CDBG roads, when they're done, it's the contractor's obligation
That's correct.
to put up the sign. It has to be an official sign that this is a HUD project. It's got to have the dollar amount.
You're absolutely
The
right.
official number of the name of the project.
Yes.
The name of the project.
Well, it didn't entail just CDBG roads, all right? We just put the signs up, all right, to cover all the roads. DOT funded roads, CDBG funded roads, and even locally funded roads.
Yeah.
So
But
that's,
what made it political, on each sign, depending on what wards they were in, you only put the mayor, 2 at-large, and that ward councilman. In the first
well,
ward.
that
you
didn't make
only
it
put-
political, that just
Yeah.
told people who the representative was
Yeah,
from that ward and who the at-large
political.
councilman was. So that's, you know, that's your opinion, and I respect it, but that was not the
Finish up,
agenda.
Mr. Frantantoni?
50 years. Yeah, but the question is, why does the requisition get dated, get put out 6 months after the fact? 6 months after the signs were bought, erected, and the contractor sent you an
Mr.
invoice.
Tucci will try to get an answer
I'll
for you.
be happy to get you an answer. I don't have an answer. I don't know why.
It's a simple question.
If you give me a copy of that, I'll be happy to do it, or I'll get a copy myself.
Well, I'll make copies and give it to you, but they're your town documents.
Okay,
Township
Mr.
of Belleville
Frantantoni.
record.
Thank you, I'll get them.
Mr. Frantantoni, repeat that horse enough.
So, all right, I'm glad the man from the Highlands, was a former trustee of the Passaic Coalition. One of the problems we've got a drinking water problem in Jersey. And one of the main reasons we're having these shortages is overdevelopment. Now, I forget the minutes, but for every square foot, I forget how many, that's paved over, how many gallons of water that we lose. It becomes, instead of soaking into the ground, it becomes surface water. Goes down the street, into the local catch basin, down the pipes, into the river. And we're at the end of the mountain. Our water comes from the mountains and all around here. So the more we pave over this town, we don't have enough. And I said, Mr. Herrick's report says, according to the county report, we're supposed to have, I think, 350 acres of open space. We only have 61 acres.
Thank
So
you.
stop this development that you're paving over every square inch of our open space.
Thank you, Mr. Frantantoni.
Thank you. Area is 148 Brighton Avenue. Mr. Tucci, you recognize this sign? Mr. Tucci?
Yes, I
Look
do.
familiar? Yes, because you said that you took full responsibility for ordering these signs.
That's correct.
All right, this is one of the 4 signs that were posted in the first ward, only on Brighton Avenue. Now, there's about 300 streets in the first ward. Brighton Avenue was paved 4 years ago. Brighton Avenue was targeted for these signs 5 days before the May 10th election in 2016. Now, who do you think lives on Brighton Avenue?
You live on Brighton Avenue?
That's right. And who
Holy
was
cow.
running in the first ward council?
Let me guess you again.
That's right. Now,
You guess it.
you claim they're not political, but out of the
They are not.
300 streets in the first ward, why were these only put on Brighton Avenue? All right? It shows here that on May 5th, you went to some Nutley printer. You couldn't have used a printer in Belleville.
Actually,
Right. Keep it
that
local.
gentleman is a graduate
All
of Belleville High School, that the
Yeah, but he's
township,
in Nutley.
excuse me, that
Where
the
you
township
are.
has
Where
been
you are, Mr.
using,
Commissioner of
excuse me,
Parks,
yes I am,
Recreation,
that the
and
township
Water
has
Township,
been
Nutley.
using for
All right,
years.
excuse
That's
me.
the first
Point of
one.
order. These
Excuse
are
me, Mayor, can I answer? Or what you guys gonna
You
talk
want, you're
over?
asking for a question, you're asking a question, he's trying to give you an answer, and you're arguing.
Okay, sorry.
I'm not listening to what you have to
So
say.
okay, thank you.
All right? The
This
signs,
sign-
excuse me, let me finish and then I'll be happy to listen to everything you have to say. All right? The sign, I did not pick the locations for the signs to
Well,
go
who
up. They were picked by the engineering department. They cited them. It was not necessarily for the street that they were on. It could be a street close to that area. So I did not target anyone who was running or who may not have been running or who lived there, who didn't live there, all right, was not my selection.
Okay, thank you,
Okay.
but did you put in the order for this wording on the signs?
That was the wording that I
Okay.
came up with, yes, with the town
Okay,
engineer,
now,
yes, sir. Yes,
Thank
ma'am.
you. Please be advised that Belleville Township will be
Yes.
reconstructing this roadway,
Mhm.
which was Brighton
Right.
Avenue, correct?
You're right.
Which was Brighton Avenue.
The wording
Not
wording
any
could
of-
have been different.
Right, you
Could have been a
could
little
have
bit
said
different.
these roadways, this is this roadway, apron sidewalk replacement, and as Mr. Frantantoni said, these were ward specific. If they were not political, then everybody's name from the council should have been on
They
here.
would
There's
have
certainly
been, but
plenty of
space did not
space.
provide it, so we put the
Yeah,
mayor,
there's
we
space
took
on
the
here.
at-large
There's space.
people and the ward council
There's space.
person that represented that area. There's
All right.
nothing political about that.
There's
It's a
nothing
representation
political about
question,
this.
that was the
Okay,
issue.
nothing political about it. All right, can I continue? Thank you. I'll
And if
be
you were the
fast.
ward councilwoman,
Thank
your
you,
name would have been on the
thank
side.
Did you get
I would have been ashamed to have my name on here.
Okay,
All
good.
right, okay, now.
Excuse me, did you get that 4 years prior? Did you get that done? 4
Sir,
years
sir.
prior?
We had no, oh, by the way, 1
We've
year
been waiting
later,
32 years.
can you,
Sorry.
1 year later, this work was supposed to have been done 2016.
Right.
1 year later, no work was done on Brighton Avenue, but with good cause because our street was paved 4 years ago. We have a beautiful street, maybe some of the aprons, driveways, whatever need replacement. Brighton Avenue, I would say, is one of the streets in the first ward that does not need work.
Thank
So,
Thank you.
all right,
Could I just
now,
respond just one last time by that? I don't want to belabor this point. Brighton Avenue is in fact one of the streets from Harrison to Sanford. That's why the
That's
sign
right.
was there. It's on the list. And it was only delayed, again, because of the sequestering of the dollars by the governor.
it was
All right,
paid
by
4
the
years
state.
ago, Mr. Tucci.
All right, not from this
Go look
area.
at Brighton
And
Avenue. It
again,
was
I don't
paid
rate
4
the
years
roads,
ago.
Ms. Higgins. I take
So
the advice of the engineering
Are
department.
you saying
That's
Brighton
why it was
Avenue
here.
is the
I am
worst street
telling
in
you,
Soho?
I'm telling you, Brighton Avenue is on the list of current streets to be done.
I'm not arguing
That's all I
that
can
point.
say.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank
Tucci.
you.
I said, okay, you said you claim full responsibility for the printing of the signs. Why wasn't there a statement of the full text and the designs, colors submitted when the order was put into the printing service in Nutley? Also, who paid for the 48 supporting stakes? You know, they had to have stakes to hold the signs up. That wasn't on any of the things we offered. Were those thrown in at taxpayer expense? Despite of the ongoing problems with the roadways in need of repair, water main breaks and sewage overflowing from the
Okay, you want to
gutters.
finish up, please? Want to finish up, please?
Okay, why were the DPW workers subjected on May 5th, 5 days before the election, to an emergency directive from you to drop everything and run around Belleville posting these 24 signs? I mean, surely they could have been working on the roads, you know, garbage
Okay,
flowing out of the
Mr. Tucci
sewers.
runs the town. If that's what he felt was necessary, that was necessary. If there was an emergency, I'm sure he would have pulled the men off and had the emergency done.
But you mean these were emergencies?
No, I says if there was an emergency, he would have pulled the men off and took care of the emergency.
But this was much more important than fixing the streets of Belleville.
Okay, thank you very much. You got your answers.
My 5 minutes is
No,
enough.
yes they are. Yes they
Really?
are.
What time do
I'll
I
tell you when the
start?
5 minutes are over. Next. Sir.
Salil Delgershow, 8 Grove Street in Belleville. I want to clear something up about these signs. Columbus Avenue, I believe Mr. Tucci, is Columbus Avenue on your list?
Yes, it is.
Columbus Avenue
Yes.
was decided and the signs were put up after the election. So it had nothing to do with the election. And I believe one side of Columbus Avenue, I might be wrong, is the first ward and the other side is the third ward. So on one side you had a sign with Mr. Cosarelli's name, the other side you had a sign with Ms. Burke's name. And that was definitely put up, I know for a fact, after the election. So, at that point, those signs that were there on Columbus had nothing to do with the election. Nobody could even claim it, because the election was over. The other thing I want to say is, because of the mention about the tall grass, the great lawn looks like it hasn't been cut since last fall.
That is being worked on.
Thank you. Thank you.
Violated them again.
And you know, I guess every sign that goes up, would the council name on it as a political sign, you know? Yes,
For
ma'am.
the election.
No, that was after. Columbus was
Good evening,
after.
I'm Grace Higgins. I have a time and date stamped photo of the sign, May 5th, 2016, 5 days before the election, sir. Thank you.
I'm talking about Columbus.
I'm talking about right now.
Sir,
Right now.
Tom Capitelli, 66 Second Street in Belleville. About 2 years ago, prior to Mr. Tucci's coming as a manager, I was here and we discussed the bar across the street, and we're back to the same stuff again. Saturday night was ferocious. It was really so disgusting. They literally parked in my driveway, car after car. I called the police. Police came. Police came. They left. They chased the car out of my driveway. They were playing the music so loud in my driveway, and outside the car talking and carrying on. I had to call the police back again. Police came back and chased the next car that came in, because I don't know what's going on here. I don't understand how this bar stayed open, because they're not busy all week long for a very long time. Then all of a sudden they're jumping, you know, and cars in and out, all the way through the night. It's something's going on there. I can't say what it is, because I don't want to incriminate anybody. Okay, but something's going on with this bar. It was so bad yesterday, one of the people who live right next to the bar came to me and said, I called the police, it was terrible, it was terrible. It was so bad that the cops came and left the car in my driveway, a police car, for almost an hour, just to stop them from coming into the driveway and parking in front of my house. The ruckus that they create outside the front of the bar is keeping the door open, the music blaring out of the bar again. We're back to the same situation we had.
the chief is here, I know he's here, he's listening to all those complaints, and I'm sure that if this continues, we could sign a nuisance complaint, correct?
Yeah, we'll do it again, Mayor, like we did last time. I came before your exercise board here.
Something definitely has to be done with this place. Thank you. Thanks, Mark.
Mr. Caruso?
John Caruso, 53 Mount Pleasant. A month ago, I spoke about handicap parking. 39 Mayor Street, I think it is. That sign is still up. The person moved out of town, and there's a green truck parked there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I never got a ticket.
39 Park?
39 Mayor.
No, 39 Mayor.
Also,
39 Mayor.
18 Mount Pleasant Avenue. You gotta check that person. I think they moved also.
18 months.
And
I know our police department does a routine check on handicap parking spots. They have to reapply every 2 years, I think, Chief.
I think we do it every year now, Mayor, but I'll double check, at least.
okay, now, illegal parking in Belleville. We have a lot of it. We have signs that said no parking. There's cars parked there all day long. No ticket. On Franklin Avenue, you have a traffic jam. No parking 46. Everybody's parked there. 20 cars are parked there every day. Where's the ticket? When are we going to do something about it? We need a parking authority here. We had one, and they got rid of it because of politics.
Since I've been here, I never
That was
remember.
before your time.
Huh?
That was before your time.
That's a long time
I was on the parking authority, that's why I know. Now, the other thing is, the meters. Half of them don't work. How are we gonna collect revenue from the meters?
That'll be included in the bond, in this year's bond ordinance.
Is the bond ordinance
Yes,
this
it's
year?
gonna be included in the bond ordinance this year, to replace the meters.
All right, the last thing, I want to thank the manager's office and the tax assessor's office, about 51 Park UMs. The grass was high, the hedges were 18 feet high,
I want to thank Public Works because they cut all that stuff down. Get the lien on that property. They're not paying taxes and it was vacant for over 2 years. What are we doing about it?
We're doing what we can legally, Mr. Caruso. When it's sold, we'll collect our liens first. We have first lien.
Okay, thank you.
Smith.
Vic Mafucci, 61 Continental. I'm not sure if the Verizon building on the corner of Belleville Avenue and Carpenter is part of the Great Lawn, or if it's a separate
No, it's
tract.
not.
But that's also overgrown.
I'm sorry?
It's also overgrown.
I saw somebody up there cutting this week.
Well, then maybe since the last.
You know, that's a funny lot, so it might all be their Great Lawn. They might just be cutting their portion of it.
The second half of what I'm going to say, I mentioned a couple of years ago. Currently, there's one of those portable signs on Franklin Avenue northbound, sort of across from Vincent Strumlow's house, where those few apartments are. That tells you the speed limit, and then it lights up what your speed is, and that's posting at 25. You go further up, the sign in front of the chandelier is posted 35, which is ridiculous for that area. Like I said, I mentioned it, if somebody could get, I guess, the county.
It's a county road, but I'm sure we'll look into it.
Okay. Also, a question, possibly through the chair, Chief. The blackened car windows, are they legal or illegal?
The blackened?
Depends how blackened they are.
Tint.
They're factory installed.
If they're factory installed.
Well, some of them are so dark you can't see a thing, and
Yeah, we issue
those that
some.
are, I'd like to see more summonses issued.
You know, I agree with you because it's protection for the police
Yeah,
department
that's fine, right?
when they approach that car.
Right. All right, thank you.
I want to say something.
So I
Make
can
a
only,
motion to
I'm sorry, I
close
can only
public hearing.
speak once.
Once?
Make a motion to close the public hearing.
Yes, sir.
Scott Higgins, I'm here to represent American Legion Post 105, and really appreciate what you did on Sunday, Kevin. And looking forward to getting more involved in the community, helping the police with some of their things, like all the drives and stuff. And trying to get out there that we're not just a bunch of old drunken men. Some of us are a little younger. But I do appreciate it, looking forward to the next one. And again, you already got your scholarships for as long as I'll be there. All right?
Thank you, sir.
Make a motion to close public hearing.
Second.
Clerk will roll.
Councilmember Cosarelli? Kennedy?
Yes.
Nattari?
Yes.
Robel?
Yes.
Strumelberg? Yes. Mayor Kimball?
Yes.
Make a motion, move the consent agenda.
Pull number 8, please.
Number 8.
Yeah, I just want to pull 9, 10, and 11. No, I'm going to move it as one shot.
9, 10, 8, 9, 10, 11.
Yeah.
No, because I was going to go with Steve, so that was
Clerk will roll the consent agenda.
Just 8, 9, 10, 11, correct? Councilmember Cosarelli?
Yes.
Kennedy?
Yes.
Nattari?
Yes.
Robel?
Yes.
Strumelberg?
Yes.
Mayor Kimball?
Move resolution number 8.
Second. What do you want to say?
Before that's moved, Mayor, I'd like to make an addition to that resolution. This is regarding the fireworks display. There's a paragraph or two in this agreement with which I don't agree, and I generally amend this agreement, so I would ask that there be an additional paragraph amending this resolution to that the attached agreement is subject to the amendment by the township attorney prior to the execution by the town manager.
What amendment? What amendment?
The amendment to the agreement. For example, we have, they put penalties in here, 15% if it's postponed. We generally we've not done that in the past if it has been postponed. And then in the event of cancellation, the township agrees to pay an additional 50% in the event that has to be canceled.
Yeah, right.
So,
Okay, I
there's
move
a
the
couple of
resolution
things
with the
here that,
amendment.
Second.
Clerk call the roll.
Councilmember Cosarelli?
Yes.
Kennedy?
Yes.
Nattari?
Yes.
Robel?
Yes.
Strumelberg?
Yes.
Mayor Kimball?
Move resolution number 9, 10, and 11.
Yeah, move 9, 10, 11. I just want a vote on that, but I also wanted to recognize Mark Johns, Deputy Chief Gerard Corbo, and Chief Mark Minichini for their outstanding work, and that we honored them last week with Unico during Police Week. The other thing we did is put together signs in support of law enforcement. If anybody would like one of those signs, please let Councilman Cosarelli or myself know. Let the manager's office. You got them? You got them?
Yes, we do.
Okay. Thank you. Second. Go ahead.
And it's not political either, so.
It's not political. It's not.
Clerk call the roll.
Councilmember Cosarelli?
Yes.
Kennedy?
Yes.
Nattari?
Yes.
Robel?
Yes.
Strumelberg?
Yes.
Mayor Kimball?
Yes, new business.
Make a motion, to move resolution A.
Second.
Clerk call the roll.
Councilmember Cosarelli? Kennedy?
Yes.
Nattari?
Yes.
Robel?
Yes.
Strumelberg?
Yes.
Mayor Kimball?
Yes. Anything else, new business? Marie?
I would like to thank Chief Minichini and his officers for the outstanding job in capturing that criminal on Eugene Place. The people in the first ward can sleep better now. Thank you. Well, I'm talking about right now, it happened right there, so
You're there, Marie, you can say.
I can.
Well, this is the second time he's been apprehended, so I hope
Let's hope they keep
It'll be
him
on home
there.
arm.
that our judicial system does the right thing this time.
It'll be on.
Motion to adjourn? Motion to adjourn?
Yes, aye.
Minnie.